The Commission for the Blind held a regular meeting July 31st, 2026 at 1 p.m. at the Portland office.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
I
like that.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. This is the July 31st, 2026 meeting of the Oregon Commission for the Blind. It is 1:07 p.m. and this meeting is called to order. Max, would you please take roll?
Certainly. I received notice that Lacey Porter is absent today. Nadira Broom is noted as present. Michael Babcock.
Present.
Michael Babcock.
I'm present. Can you hear me?
I'll come back. Laurel Hudson is present. Dr. Labrum.
Present.
Oh, we have no sound.
Yeah, it's like there's not a sound out.
It's frozen.
No, they're moving.
Here now.
I'll continue with the roll. Stephanie McGarry.
Present.
All right, we'll go ahead with the approval of the minutes from the June 5th meeting. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the minutes. Looking for a second?
I second.
Oh. All right, here's Scott first. Thank you, Scott. Max,
Nadira Broom.
I approve.
Michael Babcock.
Approved.
Laurel Hudson.
Approve.
Alan Labrum.
Approve.
Stephanie McGarry.
Approve.
Scott Wall.
Approve.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Max, and we'll continue with the audience introduction.
I'd like to introduce these staff members from the Commission for the Blind. Daisha Johnson, the Executive Director. Angel Hale, Director of Vocational Rehabilitation Services. Kat Martin is our Chief Financial and Information Officer. Jim Portillo, the Director of the Orientation and Career Center for the Blind. And Paul Coons, Director of Independent Living Services. And Ron Stewart, who's Director of the Business Enterprise Program. We're also joined today by Clay France, the agency's internal auditor. And Corey Marshall, who's the Executive Support Specialist assisting me today with the meeting presentation. And Angel has appointed someone to introduce the SWEP attendants.
I go first. First one, to introduce this one and say who you are.
I'm trying to forward the link to.
Oh, okay. So we'll start with emerging leaders. And was that you, Vin, that's gonna do that?
Sure.
Okay.
Where Max up to the front there?
This little disc things are the
Oh,
mics.
okay. So my name is Vinny Gavush, vocational rehabilitation counselor in our Portland office here. And I'm joined excitedly by Chad Furlong, who is one of the job coaches for the Portland Emerging Leaders SWEP. Carolyn Frank, who's the program coordinator for SWEP, who beat me at Rochambeau to present today. Sophia Stromquist, a first-year SWEP student. Emily Underwood. We had 3 Emilys this year, so Emily kindly went by M, who is our SWEPie of the year for the Portland program. And then Gustavo Alvarado, who some of you may remember from last year at the same meeting when he was in the Salem program, as well as Angel Hale and then Chantel Stoughton, who is a business relations coordinator with the commission.
And then I think Chantel's gonna grab it.
Chantel, okay.
Introduce the other two.
Yeah, we will have Danny in a moment. Corbin is joining virtually. I'm just sending Danny the link.
Okay, so we have 2 students from our SWEP Explorations program that is statewide, community-based, that are getting logged in here. So
Can folks online hear Angel okay?
yes.
Great.
Yay. Okay, thank you.
All right, that's it for the action. Okay. All right, well, we'll just head right into the next agenda item, which is the SWEP 2026 presentation.
Where do I be? Yeah.
It's the left-hand chair.
Okay, I'll take the one on left,
Alright.
yeah. And good afternoon, commissioners. A lot of us just got back from the SWEP 2026 Emerging Leaders Celebration, end of SWEP celebration. And we had 9 students that graduated from the program. They are the stars of the show for this particular meeting as well. And we brought 3 of them that you just heard the introductions of that are going to be sharing their experience with SWEP and some other, details about their experience with SWEP. I am really excited to first have Gustavo join me. So you want to come on up, Gustavo? Chantel, let me know when both of them are ready because we might move these around. Okay. We were going to maybe start with explorations, but we're shifting because that's what we do. We go with the flow. Great, Gustavo, can you share a little bit about yourself and your experience with SWEP this summer?
Hello, my name is Gustavo Alvarado. I'm from Kaiser, Oregon. Last year I did Senior SWEP, and this is my first year doing Portland Emerging Leaders. My future career goal is to be a teacher of the visually impaired. My job site this SWEP was working at OHSU KCI Genetic and Rehabilitation Department. I was doing several other tasks, but the one that I valued the most was observing the low vision occupational therapist. I watched her have like several patients every Thursday. I watched her teach different people with different vision accessibility. I saw her like how to teach people use their functional vision in different ways. Like some people lost vision in one eye, so they had to learn how to scan, while others were completely blind. So she was showing her adaptive technology like Meta AI glasses or Echo Visions, which are another type of smart AI glasses. And as well, it showed me how I will have to prepare lessons as well, because she did her lessons based on what goals, struggles, and they want to do in their life. So like if someone wanted to like you learn how to use an iPad for work, she would teach them voiceover and other stuff like that. And as well, during my time at OHSU, I did a presentation of data diagnosis and how to make the lobby more accessible. It showed me how to advocate for my future students, whether it be me talking to their teachers or me writing their IEP meetings. And as well, it made me feel like an advocate and really made me feel like that's what I want to do. And it really like helped me like, I really do want to do this. And then as well, there's a lot of activities we did during SWEP that I don't think I would ever done, like kayaking, paddleboarding, tandem biking, going to the museum, jumping off a 30-foot tree using a safety harness. It was a lot of fun. I don't think I would have ever done it simply because of my visual limitations. But because of SWEP, I was able to have fun in that and realize it's really fun. I really enjoy those things and I kind of want to continue doing it again. And as well, my biggest takeaway from SWEP is that I was using my cane a lot more. I was diagnosed when I was 16, didn't get services until I was 17. So I'm 18 right now, so I'm pretty new to cane stuff. And it really like made using cane feel more normal to me. Like it didn't feel abnormal because I spent 17 years of my life without using a cane. So it really helped me like just get more comfortable using a cane, more confidence and it will help my independence. And as well, being around with all the other SWEP students really like builds a community, since in a sense, I felt a little bit isolated when I got diagnosed because it is a low occurring disability. You don't really meet a lot of people with it. So it like builds a community. And I feel like that was my greatest takeaways from SWEP.
Oh, love that, Gustavo.
Let me just interrupt for a moment. I'm going to put a microphone here. It'll just pick up so people can hear better in the room.
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
Great. Nadira, would you prefer that we wait for all the questions at the end or that we do that while we have students present? Do you have that? What is your pleasure?
Do it differently this year. You can ask while they're at the microphone.
Okay, okay.
Hey.
Great. Any questions for Gustavo?
Excuse me, not a question, this is, but a comment, and to your plans, I need to give you my email so you can.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I was
Full
so,
experience and, yeah, you're welcome to join us, for some of our things.
yeah. You gladly take it.
It's an offer you can't refuse.
I can't refuse.
I know, yeah, something. Yeah, any other questions?
Stephanie,
Stephanie?
so what are your plans now that you're 18 years old? You gonna do college? What are your plans?
Um, so after SWEP ends, I'm probably gonna enjoy the rest of my summer, but then in the fall, I'm going to Western Oregon University. For my undergraduate, I'm gonna get special education. And then after my undergraduate, I plan to go to Portland State University to get my graduate in the teacher of the visually impaired master's program.
Yes, amazing.
Yes.
So the reason why I'm asking is because I'm the National Federation of the Blind affiliate president and we give out scholarships.
Ooh.
Let's go. Yeah.
Yes, we help you get to school to make that dream happen because we believe in blind people. So if you want to get my information, I could give you information. And also you would not feel, because you're right, it is a community. And you need a community to help you get through this life being blind. So.
Nice, thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Anything else for Gustavo while he's on the hot seat?
Yeah, I have a comment, Gustavo. I'm Laurel. Excuse me. We heard earlier that you're known for bringing the chaos. So how are you going to continue to have that fire and that energy going forward when you have some challenges maybe or ups and downs? What are you going to do to keep that going?
I feel like it's usually like I bring the chaos, like or like I just like have my own personality, but like because of like my vision loss, I wouldn't like go out as much because like I didn't want to use my cane or I didn't want to struggle. I feel like because of what I learned using my cane, building that confidence in myself, I'm gonna be even more crazier because I'm just gonna go out even more. It's honestly gonna get even worse.
I love it.
Can we follow you on social media or how do we keep track of your chaos?
I'll make a TikTok page.
Okay, yes, let's go. Yep, love it.
Gustavo's Chaos. That's a good title.
5 million followers.
I like it. I like it. Anything else for Gustavo?
Yeah, Gustavo, this is Nadira. So, this is just a comment. I'm really proud of you. I remember you from last year. And there was a discussion around using the cane. So I am so glad that you have, started to master it and feeling a lot more comfortable with it. Yeah. And if you're anything like me, you'll probably have multiple canes and name them too. That's an idea. Okay.
I love it. I love it. Anything else? All right, I think Gustavo, you are off the hot seat, buddy. Thank you so much. Yeah. They're all aching to get to Oaks Park. Chantel, do we have both of our explorations?
After this next.
Okay, all right, let's go in. Come on up. You're the next. Great. Okay, and as a reminder, M was the Sweppy of the year this year. Go ahead. Share your experience. Well, let's talk about who you are and where you're from first.
Hi, I'm Emily Underwood, or M. I'm a second year SWEP student. I'm from Junction City, Oregon, which is just a little bit north of Eugene. So like 2 hours away from here. And this year I worked at Starting Grounds Coffee Shop in the Multnomah County Courthouse. I feel like the biggest thing that I got from my job experience this year was a lot more confidence in my abilities to, I just specifically customer service and working like collaboratively on a team. I feel like I'm a lot more stable in those abilities. And I think like being able to work very quickly under pressure has been a big thing for me. I feel a lot more prepared to like take on jobs as I go into college, part-time jobs, I guess, during college, or just further on in my career path. I think like having the confidence to like be able to speak up for myself and like actually like advocate for myself as part of a team. I think also one thing that I learned from my job experience was, as some of you may know, Starting Grounds is part of the BEP program, and Trevor, the manager there, has put in place a lot of accommodations for himself in terms of like the technology and tools that you use, like just the espresso bar and the register. And it was very interesting to see like how he made that work for himself, and like getting to learn how to do entrepreneurship and how to run a business effectively. I'm not sure that I want to go into that, but I think it's definitely very good to know. I think that he taught me a lot about how to like manage people. And then in the dorms, I feel like I also just got a lot more confidence. I was like Gustavo, also had a lot of cane shame, I guess. And so I feel like a lot more capable in being able to navigate around. And I guess just when it comes to like cooking and cleaning, I already had skills in that area from my previous year at SWEP, but this year I was able to like really cement those skills. And I think a lot of the events that we did, such as, I mean, he did a very good job at naming all of them. It was all like very, very integral for building confidence. I think, like Gustavo, one of the biggest things for me was just the sense of community and connection with other people with vision loss. I think it's, in my day-to-day life, it's very uncommon to meet. It's so low incidence. It's very uncommon to meet other people with low vision. And I just think we just made so many like very deep connections and friendships that I hope will continue after SWEP.
They will.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will.
So yeah.
Love it. Thank you, questions for M?
Stephanie.
Yeah, Stephanie.
So first of all, you definitely show that you've got some confidence. The whole time you were speaking, I'm like, this is not a young girl. So I'm glad to see that. Another thing is, trust me, you're not alone. A lot of us have that same story in the beginning. We don't want to use our cane because it identifies us. We're vulnerable, but the more and more you use it, it gets easier. So I totally encourage you to, and find all the resources you can. NFB, ACB, whatever you feel like you want to be a part of, because there are communities out there for us. Because you're right, I live in Grants Pass, Oregon, and I don't find any many blind people either. So an angel can give you those resources if you are truly interested to, be able to have someone to say, how do I do this? How do I live my life being a blind person? So, but I just want to congratulate you for a great job of showing how confident you've become.
Nice. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Stephanie. Other questions for M?
This is Scott. I'm just wondering, are you a senior this year? Are you going to,
I'm going into my senior year.
were you going to be a senior next year?
I'm going into my senior.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you plan to go to college?
I am considering a bunch of different schools. This summer, I'm planning to work on a bunch of scholarships. So I'm thinking of U of O as kind of my big one currently, just because of the
Proximity.
the proximity. Yes. I'm also thinking of, it depends on the programs. I'm hoping to go into psychology or linguistics or something like language related. I'm also considering the medical field. I want to do something that helps people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look more thoroughly at the programs available in different colleges, but yeah.
But you'll do well.
The world is your oyster. Yeah. What else? Anything else for M?
Yeah, hey, Em, it's Laurel. As Sweppy of the Year, you get to pick dinner tonight, right?
I was not.
Wasn't that the name? Am I making that?
They were like,
Wait, what?
we have 15 pizzas.
Oh.
They have a lot of pizza to eat.
A lot of pizza.
I guess it's gonna be pizza.
I guess it's pizza. Yep, well, you picked it. There you go.
Okay.
I definitely chose that.
Okay. I love it. Anything else?
That's.
Yes, it's so cool. Anything else for Anne? I think you're off the hot seat, lady.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
So I have both students.
All right, let's hop them in. Why not? We'll separate it up a little bit. So we now are going to just do a little move over to explorations, just because we have a couple students that may need to hop, and we want to make sure that we keep them on Zoom while we have them. And then Chantal, you want to guide that conversation?
Perfect.
All
I have
right.
the honor of presenting on the behalf of SWEP Explorations. We have two students virtually with us today. The first one I'd like to present is Danny Mondragon. She is a second year SWEP Exploration student, both years working at the HEC. And Corey, are you able to spotlight her? Oh, sure.
Yes.
All right, Danny, take it away.
Okay, hi, my name is Danny. This is my second year in SWEP and also, yeah, my second year at the Higher Education Coordinating Commission. During my time at HEC, which is what I'm gonna call it because I don't have time to say the whole out loud.
A lot to say, yeah.
But my first year, I'd say I learned a lot about like what the HEC does and what kind of jobs you could get there, and like just taking it all in and learning. And this year, I got to do more of the work of like an office specialist, so like an entry level state position. So I worked very closely with my supervisors, and I did things like take meeting notes, and I went to meetings, and I just learned a lot more in depth about like state policy. I would say that this opportunity has given me a lot of professional growth as well as confidence. And I really liked getting to work at HEC because it was something that allowed me to like look into my professional career goals more while also getting a different perspective on it. So like how do things work from like the state policy side of it, and how does that affect systems and just agencies in Oregon?
Love it. And Danny, can you talk a little bit about the evening classes that you participated in with SWEP?
Yeah. So on Tuesdays there was like workshops. So again about like professionalism, building your own brand, just things like that. And then Thursdays we had living with blindness classes. The classes were they were interesting. It was really cool to get to like hear from people all around Oregon who also experience vision loss, and just kind of get to talk about common experiences because that's a really important part of like being a young individual with vision loss. Is like building that sense of community. And then the workshops were also really helpful. I got to learn I got to review things that I had already known and learn new things that will help me like build up my resume, help me in interviews, just things like that.
Thank you, Danny. And I will say, we did a work site visit at HEC and with Danny and and one of her supervisors, and also they showed up at the end of SWEP's exploration celebration last week that was on Zoom, and they had so many wonderful things to say about their experience with Danny over the last 2 years. So I just want to say what a great job you've done, Danny, and great things ahead for you. Questions for Danny? Questions for Danny? Anyone?
I'll go ahead and ask.
Yeah. Sadira.
Hey, yes. So Danny, you talked about your professional goals. What is it you want to do?
Yeah. So I want to be a social worker. I just graduated high school. I'm on my way to college, where I'm gonna work on my Bachelor of Science in childhood behavioral health.
Wonderful.
Love it.
Yeah.
So ditto for you, Danny, and what Stephanie's been sharing about the scholarship stuff to apply for, including NFB.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions for Danny? All right, well, Danny, thank you so much. Sounds like you're off the hot seat, but hang with us for a minute because it'd be great for you to hear the other students before you head if you can.
Yeah.
Great, okay. And
Perfect.
thank you, Daisy.
All right, our next student is Corbin Durant, and he is a first-year SWEP student. He worked at the Malala Public Library, and he's joining us virtually today.
Corbin, you're on.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience at the library? I know they loved having you, for sure.
In my opinion, for the experience, I liked being in a quiet work environment.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the stuff they had me do was mostly putting away books or DVDs or cleaning them.
And they said how invaluable that was for them to have you as a resource because that is not easy work.
Yeah, it was, well, my first week, I was like, what am I doing? I didn't know, but then my second week, I was like, okay, yeah, I know what I'm doing, but I was still a little not as confident as the later weeks.
That's how it works, right? Yeah. Building the muscles and learning all the skills. What about your experience with the evening activities, the classes, Corbin?
With the classes, since it usually started right after I come home from work, it was, no, wait, there was only one time I technically skipped a class because I couldn't make it.
Way to take
But
ownership.
besides that time, I made it to every class, and it was just a great time to hear what different people have to say about their experiences and stuff.
Yeah, and Maze said that you showed up just always a great participant. Both you and Danny were amazing participants in those statewide classes, so that's wonderful. Any questions for Dan? Thank you for Corbin, excuse me. Any questions for Corbin?
Corbin, this is Scott Wall. I'm just wondering what your goals are for orientation mobility for next year and what job you want to look at going forward.
For future, for a job for next time in SWEP, I feel like I would want to do something in customer service.
Nice. Ooh, that'll be a fun one to figure out. That was our first experience at Malala Library. So that was pretty cool too.
One more question, Corbin. Did you take the bus from your house to Malala High School? Or did you get a ride?
For transportation to the library, my job coaches just gave me transportation.
Nice. There's not a lot of buses out there.
No, I think that was part of the problem. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions for Corbin?
I have a question. This is Nadira. I have a question. I'm gonna rope you back in, Danny.
Oh, Danny.
When Corbin. So what was your favorite part of this SWEP experience? And on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate it?
Oh.
I would personally rate it, let's say, for me, it was 5.9 out of 10.
Hey, why would you rate it that, Corbin? Out of curiosity.
Well, um, well, I actually just was like, wait, when I said that score, I was like, wait, no, wait, I should change it. I think it was probably a 9 out of 10.
Oh,
Okay.
that was a big jump.
Yep.
Yeah. Why would you give it a 9?
Well, because I just enjoyed the experience and just wanted to go a little longer.
Oh, maybe that's where the 5.9 came in, is that it ended.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Woo for the ending. Yeah. Love that. What about you, Danny? What was your favorite thing, and what would you rate it?
I think this year's experience also gets a 9. If I had received this question last year, it probably would have been lower. I felt more comfortable this year, just in my professional ability and like confidence. But this year also came with its own set of like, what do I do here? So it was a lot of learning, but like in a good way.
Love that. I should point out, for those that would be interested, that Danny did her work experience with no coach this year.
Oh.
Chad, who's here with us today, was her coach last year.
Chad did.
Any other questions for either of our explorations students? All right, so well, hang with us for a minute. We've got one more student from Emerging Leaders, but yeah, round of applause for our. All right, last but not least, Sophia is on the hot seat. Hello. Hello. Hey. All right, tell us about you.
Hi, I'm Sophia Stromquist. I come from Hood River, Oregon. I'm a first-year SWEP student and I turn 18 in the fall. I worked at Scrap PDX this year and I feel like I was really able to learn about what I like in a job. It was my first job ever. It was amazing. I really enjoyed how much I could do when it came to art, and I was able to improve in my social skills and taking on tasks and initiating tasks as well. Dorm life was really, really cool. My new friends that I made were amazing and they were incredibly supportive. We spent so much time together and I think I became a lot more social. I feel like I've got to know myself a lot over the past 6 weeks, which has been amazing. And it's been a really positive experience. Our recreational activities were super fun. I loved going to the horse sanctuary. And the ropes course during prep week was the perfect group activity for us all to really get to know each other and gain trust in one another. It was really amazing.
I love that. Did you say where you were from?
Hood River, Oregon.
Hood River. So all of our students that you are spending time with today, none of them are from the Portland area. They're from all over the state. That's
great.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Questions for Sophia?
Yeah, Sophia, it's Laurel. As a first-time SWEPie, is there a piece of knowledge or wisdom that you would like to pass on to future SWEPies? Something that you wish you knew?
That's a good one.
I think my approach of trying to do as many of the social activities as possible would be really good to pass on. And then also really figuring out the way you cook and eat and stuff. I used a lot more of my raw ingredients than I did my pre-prepped ones.
Love that. Other questions for Sophia?
This is Nadira. I don't have a question per se, but I have a slight backstory here.
Oh.
So I went on a hike a few weeks ago.
Hi.
And as I was sitting on the stand, as I was about to sit on the stand, I heard this voice, hello. Just like just now. And this young lady was talking to me. She spent the next, I don't know how long it was. We were having a conversation about everything from He-Man and She-Ra to cooking adventures. But she just came across as such a sociable person. I just can't believe that you were not sociable before. And so I want to say thank you for chatting up with me and my daughter. It was really nice talking to you, Sophia, and I know you're going to be successful in whatever you decide to do. And if it is criminal psychology, I don't know if you changed your mind about that, but if it is, yeah, I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Love it. Anything else for Sophia?
Sophia, this is Scott. I'm just wondering what your plans are after high school. Want to go to SWEP again next year?
I do think I want to go to SWEP again next year, or at least again in the future. I'm planning on going to college. I think I would like to go to Oregon State University.
Go Beavs.
I'm trying to think about, I think I'd enjoy being a specialized therapeutic practice. I've been hearing a lot about occupational therapy the last 6 weeks, so I'm planning on doing a little bit more research on that.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Anything else for Sophia? All right, lady, you're off the hot seat too.
Thank you.
And before we conclude the SWEP part of the sharing in the meeting, I do want to recognize that we have our 3 of our 4 SWEP coordinators in this space and a job coach, and we and staff in the room that have been working in the background trying to support all of the things SWEP related. Not all of them are here, but I just want to a big shout out and thank you to the staff that have been working so tirelessly. While we have them, if there are any questions from this group for any of our coordinators or coach or anything else, I just want to open the floor if there's any questions, or if myself.
No question, but a comment. You guys do a fantastic job.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so nice the way that everybody thanked you in their speeches. I don't know if you guys put that in there yourselves.
That's funny.
Put into this and then seeing, I've been to one of the graduations before, and I think seeing the change in some of these students that I've known for years, and just the hard work you guys put in, I want to thank you for that, so.
Yeah, I'll echo that. I really appreciate how everybody, how much work goes into it. I didn't even realize until I went to the dorms, and so everyone from Vinny, Carolyn, Angel, who was back and forth with me in the emails trying to get this to happen. And I'm trying to remember all the names, Elaine, Lauren, who was so nice to walk us to the Max stop. Oh, yeah, I hope I got her name. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone who put all your effort into this to support these students and the employers who just give them a shot. Because that's really what we need, just someone to be open-minded enough to give us a shot.
I agree.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it, love it. Well, I just want to say thank you, a special thank you to our Corbin, who just found out that we had a student that wasn't able to make it, and he jumped in and said he'd be willing to come and talk. So thank you, Corbin, for doing that on such short notice.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. And yeah, one more round of applause for SWEP 20.
We could say just the people in this room. So I was looking around as this was going on. Laurel came to our Iron Chef event in SWEP. And Nadira went on a hike with the SWEP. Scott hosted self-defense classes as a black belt himself.
Yes.
Paul, our ILOB manager, linked us up with that horse sanctuary through his wife. Ryan does so many things behind the scenes to keep things going. Daisha, as executive director, the support for SWEP is very obvious to us as staff that have the resources. Kat, I feel like we drive you crazy every year with counting. Staff coordinating the orientation mobility training. That first week is super intense, and then we get support with meal prep training in the dorms after hours, and there's just so much support.
So much.
This program. So, and then Angel as well for keeping us sane through it all. Thank you. Commissioners, Dr. Labram hosted a student at SWEP this year.
It's amazing.
Sarah Institute, Gustavo, as well. And then Gustavo, I feel like you wanted that out of 10, what would you rate SWEP, 6 or 7 is the question.
Wait. Oh, you just had to, didn't you?
I had to do it.
Sorry, Jordan.
6, 7, 6, 7.
10 out of 10. So.
Yeah. 10 out of 10. Oh, I love it.
6 out of it.
That was good. I love it. Yeah, it's an incredible group of humans that make this possible. And so, yeah, heartfelt. Thank you to this board for supporting this program for so many years too. Yeah, I've got to go over here and get a group hug. So sorry. Before students leave.
Oaks Park, yeah.
Okay, come on in.
Gorgeous day for them.
And it's when we told these 3 SWEP people that they would be presenting right after the celebration. Instead of going to the other SWEPies, the pizza at the dorms, they were excited.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh.
They got the photo.
Thank you.
Thank you, Spappies.
This way, yeah.
He was one of my students. Came to camp years ago, so, you know, I got to there, I haven't seen her. So they love you. She had a great time. The horseback riding.
Thank you, Paul.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I'm okay.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I know.
They're so cute.
Just in case.
She's hot.
Okay.
Okay. Great. So now we move on to public comment. Yes, that wasn't a blank. Is there any public comment today? Okay. Well, I will insert myself here and just say thank you to everyone who has worked to make this setup possible today. I know we're dealing with, trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. So thank you to Max and Corey and team doing all this.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. So now we move on with the executive director report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, commissioners. And Kat will make her way up to the microphone. We are getting our sea legs for an in-person meeting back on.
I'll sneak get some steps in, and I will just say that this is always the worst meeting of the year for me because that is an impossible act to follow, particularly with all sorts of fun with numbers. That said, good afternoon, Madam Chair, Commissioners, and OCB colleagues. The accounting department has completed the preliminary close of State fiscal year 2026 as of June 30th, and final closing activities will continue through mid-August. All figures reported today will be based upon the preliminary close, and at our next meeting, I'll recap final year-end results. Beginning with the June 2026 bequest and donation statement, interest earnings on the cash balance in the fund over the last 2 months was $5,712. OCB received $4,160 in new donations, yielding a cash balance on June 30th of $861,375 after accounting for credit card processing fees. Moving to the financial status report next, the commission's, sorry, I'm not used to doing this on a small screen. The commission's legislatively approved budget for the current biennium 25-27 after legislative short session adjusting actions around the salary pot in February is $9,795,831 general fund dollars, $1,155,454, and $22,748,4008 other and federal fund limitations, for a total of $33,699,694, 67 positions, and 67 full-time equivalents. With half of the biennium now complete in the statewide financial management application and projecting 12 months into the future, we are still looking at a shortfall when comparing budget to projected expenditures. Current projections suggest that special payments, which are services to clients provided by other than commission personnel, and durable goods like computers acquired on participants' behalf, is up from my last report out by another $500,000 to now $8.7 million. That is $3.6 million over budgeted amounts set aside for special payments. While consistent with trends in previous years, and despite some ability to offset this with underspending in key categories like salaries and benefit costs and agency-specific service and supplies, the total variance for the close of the biennium has increased from $122,362 at my last report out to $503,599, or 1.5% of our budget as of the preliminary over budget as of the preliminary June 2026 close. Additionally, while revenue utilized for the first 50% of the biennium is trending as budgeted for the commission's first 12 months, revenue is not the same thing as cash available to us to cover our expenditures. With federal funding on our awards for the current year essentially flat to last year's awards, the amount of actual cash available to the commission between July 1st, 2025 and June 30th, 2027 is estimated at $31,017,045 versus the amount of cash required to finish out the biennium based on our average monthly spend rate of $1.4 million per month. Total cash required to complete the biennium is estimated to be $33,463,568. That leaves a gap as of June 30th between estimated use and used and available and expected cash of $2,446,523. That's 1.7 months shy of cash to close out the biennium in June 2027. This picture further has the potential of creating a revenue challenge as early as December 2026 if the federal appropriations for 2027 are distributed via partial continuing resolutions. With continuing resolutions the norm instead of the exception over the last decade, I believe it's reasonable to expect we'll struggle with cash flow over the winter and need to use all available general funding, with which remains to continue fiscal operations. Finally, in other matters, the agency request budget has cleared audit with the statewide audit and budget and reporting services. This version of our budget assumes general fund will be $10,927,744. Other funds, $1,216,507. Federal funds, $23,105,311. Total funds, $35,249,562. Full-time equivalents at 61 with 61 positions. The budget represents an 11.5% increase in general fund appropriation, a 5.28% increase in other fund, and a 1.57% increase in federal fund limitations. Total funds are increasing overall 4.6% of the budget we're currently operating with in biennium 25-27. The reduction in agency FTE positions of 6 from 67 to 61 represents a 9% decrease in our roster. That concludes my report out. Is there any questions?
Questions for Kat? Commissioners, I'll mention a little bit more on the budget at a later time for the next biennium, but I want to make a note about the most recent donations report. For those of you that were present this morning, Diana Huff, who's a long-term former SWEPI herself, and she's been donating to the program the last many, many years. She donated $1,050 this year to support SWEP, and the $50 was meaningful to her because it is her 50th year being involved in some way, shape, or form with SWEP, both as a SWEP participant and then as a longtime supporter of the program. So I just want to recognize her formally for that.
Definitely.
Questions for Kat? I also want to recognize Kat and Max for the major lift with the budgeting process, as well as Kat's team, as she was describing the preliminary June close. We are closing the accounting year right now on top of submitting and all of the necessary elements of submitting a budget. So it's a really, really busy time. So I want to recognize Kat, and Max had a considerable role in the agency request budget submittal as well. So thank you, Kat.
Thank you. Yeah.
My pleasure.
All right, moving on. If you are watching the federal landscape, I think I mentioned this, but in the middle of June, there had been some talk for some time about the current administration's desire to dismantle the U.S. Department of Education and fold the programs that were legislatively constructed to be under that department through interagency agreements, moved to other organizations within the federal system. And in the latter part of June, they announced that the Office of Special Education and Rehabilitation Services, of which the Rehabilitation Services Administration, what we call RSA, is housed under, would enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the U.S. Health and Human Services Agency. And as a result of that, it has gotten significant attention, particularly most recently in the Senate, the U.S. Senate, with a bill being heard yesterday in committee that was introduced by Senator Kane, Senator Collins, and Senator Murkowski from Alaska, that would basically prohibit any transfer of the program out of the U.S. Department of Education, specifically to Special Education Services and the Rehabilitation Services Administration. So it has not moved out of committee yet. It passed out of committee. It hasn't gone to the floor yet for a Senate vote, but there is significant attention being made and the concerns, particularly on the special education side. But because we are in that umbrella agency together, then we are also part of that. So at this point, we have not had any significant impact. There was a kind of a stakeholder forum that the Office of Special Education Rehabilitation Services had. And one of the things that we learned in that forum was when Kat's talking about that federal cash, it actually is drawn through a federal system. It's kind of like what I call a bank account in the sky. It's a grant management system that once we have obligations that we have to use federal funds for, you draw the money down and then it shows up in your bank account, basically. And so the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has a different grant management system. So it appears at this point that they are not planning, which is good, to move that until next October. So we will be able to continue to use our current grant management system for now through the next federal fiscal year, which starts in October, which is a good thing. Because there was significant concern about just that transition. And as you can imagine with Kat describing the limitations of availability of cash, being able to draw whatever federal cash we have available and having that go smoothly is important for us to just be able to make payroll and all of those important things that we do as an agency. Any questions about the federal activities happening? All right, I will move on and just acknowledge that our governor held a town hall meeting for housing and human services agencies on June 30th. Corey Marshall was able to represent OCB at that town hall in person. The rest of us joined virtually on the Teams. And that is recorded. So in the event that any of you are interested in listening to the town hall, it was basically the governor being able to respond to, I thought, some pretty tough questions from frontline employees asking about the services, the constraints of the budget, kind of what her plans were in particular areas. I thought they were very, very thoughtful questions. So if any of you are interested in watching that recorded, Max can get you access to that. It's up on our internal hub, but we have a copy of it. So you're happy to listen to that. Any questions about that? All right. Hearing no questions, Madam Chair, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Daisha. Let me move into old business, the order of selection up.
Want me to come up there? I'm not sure if we're official working.
We can probably hear you from
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Just bringing the mic down.
I was thinking it was gonna save time, but never. Not so much. Good afternoon, commissioners. Angel Hale here. I just wanted to give a quick update on the order of selection. As you know, we started the order of selection in May, which the 19th of May, 2026. So we've been in it a little bit. We've got, I didn't get an update as of today, but I think we've got about like 14 people on the wait list. So it's a slow trickle of people that are coming into the system. And we've had a handful of people that have also had needs for being supported in order to keep their jobs. So we do have this slow trickle of people coming into the system. But the idea being, as we all know, to slow down things so that we can then get caught up on making sure that we're spending the money on the people that are active, and then ultimately be monitoring our ability to get out of the order of selection when we are in a better financial situation, which you got a summary of from Kat. We're still in a pretty tight situation at this point. But I do think it is really helpful for the existing clients that we're able to do the services that they need within the limited constraints that we have. And I would be happy to take any questions that people might have about the order of selection right now. That was easy. I gotta figure out use that button in Dacia's office.
I know, right?
I'll hold on to this unless, I'm not sure when I find.
Okay, all right, so next is the vocational rehabilitation state plan update. So I see 2024-27. There you go.
Yes, so I thought, we, again, Angel, and I, just the quick update for the state plan is that we have submitted the state plan. There were some updates that the Rehabilitation Services Administration had wanted us to make. I was actively on the phone with them at the beginning of the week, making some just changes that they wanted to make sure that we had before they did their final approval on the plan. As far as we know, all of the things they needed are now incorporated into our state plan, and we are, I think, in a good solid place to be able to continue to move forward with all of the things that you all reviewed as we put the state plan in place. Any questions about the state plan?
One of the things that I will just recognize is that the Trump administration last July actually issued an executive order that really called out specifically any type of diversity initiatives or even using the words diversity, equity, and inclusion or anything like that. And so and it is tied to our funding. And so we are in a state that believes very deeply in all of those activities, but we have to be super intentional about the language that we use that is forward facing to our federal partners because they have an expectation and have taken the position that language is not only something they don't want to prioritize, but against the law from their perspective. So some of the edits that we were just making to the state plan were to make sure that we were complying with the executive order. And so looking at the language through that lens, we were able to remove language that would have been concerning to the review process.
Okay. Any questions before we proceed? No. All right, so continuing with comprehensive statewide needs assessment.
Good afternoon.
Right.
Angel here. Yes, so we are currently under the comprehensive statewide needs assessment process. And as a reminder, that happens every 3 years for just the vocational rehabilitation program specifically. It is a requirement from RSA, and we are really excited. I guess she may not have been able to join unless we didn't call her out. But Tegan Morton is the person that is taking point. She's a grad student from PSU, and she has just been lovely to work with. So she has done some of our focus groups so far for the CSNA. That's if you hear CNA or CSNA, that's the comprehensive statewide needs assessment that's underway. She has done a couple of sessions with our SWEP students, captive audiences for focus groups, and is in the process of scheduling focus groups, in particular here at the training center. So she's working actively with Jim to find a time for that. She will also be doing some outreach to all of you to get your feedback. She is working alongside our staff to reach out to our other customers that are obviously businesses throughout the state of Oregon. And we are doing some combined efforts around that outreach for the comprehensive statewide needs assessment with our sister agency, Oregon Vocational Rehabilitation Services, because we do a lot of work in conjunction with their business services team with our businesses around the state. So they're actively working on that. And of course, there will be outreach to all clients in different areas of the state. There's going to be surveys going out. So you may hear, or even if you are a constituent of ours, you may be one of the ones that gets surveyed from maybe multiple angles, or you're going to hear of people that do. So you may be just keeping in mind that as a commissioner, you're going to have one hat that you're wearing that you're going to be providing feedback around for the CSNA. And then as a client, you may have a different lens from which you're going to be providing that feedback. But this really is our opportunity to learn about the and underserved populations throughout the state of Oregon. Obviously, it's a little different when we're in the order of selection because we're not doing as much outreach because we're not trying to pull a bunch of people into the system right now. But we do want to know how we can better serve those people. And also in the order of selection, we want to be thinking about even for referral services when we're trying to refer out for resources and such. If there are things that we can be doing better for connecting with resources around the state of Oregon and nationally for our clients to be able to get services while they're on the wait list. So we're really excited. We have a good trajectory with Tegan in getting the plan ready and out the door to RSA, but also for our own purposes to be able to use it by the end of the year. So you should by December, hopefully we'll have a good solid draft in place for you all to be able to see and get exposure to the data that we're experiencing in the state for people who experience vision loss. Any questions about the CSNA?
I'm not a commissioner. I'm not sure if it's appropriate for me to ask a question. Beth Pinshot. I'm a constituent's parent and a commission applicant. Is it okay to ask a question?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you. My question is with regard to some of the addition that ODDS is providing to services for people with folk rehab needs and intellectual disability. And I just wondered if they were going to be a part of that survey and canvassing that you're talking about in this most recent.
Yes, they would be one of our close partners that would be part of that service delivery. And thank you so much for bringing that up, because that is the ODDS partnership is something we recently had a presentation for our team on to make sure that we're connecting with those resources for existing clients that are in our system, but also for those that might be on the wait list so that they can get services through ODDS. I really appreciate you bringing that up.
For sure. I'm just so thankful for all the incredible work that the commission delivers. And I wish everyone could copy what you guys do and deliver it so well for all of the people in our state that have needs. And so I'm thankful that ODDS is raising their hand and saying we want to pitch in. And I just want to make sure that you guys tell them exactly how to do everything as great as possible.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That feedback.
All right. Okay, so there being no further questions there. We move on to the agency request budget 2027 to 2029.
Yes, and commissioners, we just wanted to make sure that you understood and Kat read out the numbers for you. We did submit our budget this morning. It was due today, so Max put it into the whatever portal, so they have access to the information that will also be posted on our website. We did go over the information with staff 2 weeks ago, right after we met with you all and received your approval. And I would say that staff, one, we're grateful that there weren't any staff reductions in terms of employees losing their job, but they also, in all transparency, were saddened to see any staff position reduction at all. And I understand that. And so just as a reminder, this is kind of the first step in the process. We have the governor's budget, which will come out December 1st. And then the legislative process starts early in 2027 and will go on through usually around right around the 4th of July. So there's a lot of time left before the budget will be final for 27, 29. But I also just want to recognize that it was hard for employees to hear the limited options that we had available to us without being able to have, any growth in the program. Any questions about the budgeting process?
Okay. All right, so moving on to best practices survey results updates.
Angel zoning.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's been one of those days I wasn't catching up here. Sorry. Best practices. Thank you. I'm so sorry. It has been one of those days. Yes, hello again. Best practices survey. I do want to say thank you to all of the commissioners here for having put in your votes. It looks like we every person here said that we were meeting all of our best practices. So that will be feeding into our annual performance progress report that you will we approve it through the process of just giving it to the legislature, because that's part of the process, but you ultimately will see that report in your October meeting. So that we've submitted in September as a reminder, and it is back looking to the previous federal fiscal year. So it can be a little bit confusing, but I think we're going to try to shore up that process to make it a little bit tighter for at least when we survey you all. So more to come on that, but I think Max and Daisha and I are looking at a process where we may be doing your surveys a little sooner. So you might feel like you just did the survey for best practices, and we may be doing that as we go into October, November, just so that it's a little closer to the prior federal fiscal year that always ends at the end of September. So just a little heads up that it might feel a little bit funny when we make this change, because usually we're like a year out when we're asking for your feedback. So changes to come, but thank you so much for your participation in making sure we know if we are meeting all of those best practices for annual performance progress report.
Our data lags because the federal fiscal year, the report's due September 30th. And we don't, that's the end of the federal fiscal year for the previous year. But so because of the timing of when they insisted the report be, we're a year behind in reporting federal data because our federal data for the year that just closed isn't available until, 3 to 4 weeks later. So because of that, we just started surveying commissioners before the report was due. But what we realized is we can actually we can actually survey you after, closer to the actual time period. It just makes it fresher on your mind. So we're going to improve our best practices by surveying you more timely.
Okay.
And that data will be used in the next year's
Yeah.
report. So
that will be the lag, just like our performance data.
Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, moving into new business and our final agenda item, which is the virtual all-staff training.
Yeah, and commissioners, we just wanted to alert you, typically in the even years, we would have an in-person, usually almost a full week of staff training activities. This was one of our belt tightening initiatives where we decided to flip that to virtual. So we will be having 2 afternoons of virtual all staffs, which hopefully will be a combination of kind of fun team building activities, but also some training. And those would be before your next meeting. So we thought we'd just let you know about them on the 22nd and 23rd of September. And it's hard to be on Zoom for extended periods of time. So it'll be those 2 afternoons and we'll build in lots of breaks and hopefully make them fun and enjoyable for staff. But because of the fiscal environment, we opted for that in lieu of a full week of training, which is a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
Because it's oftentimes for folks around the state, it's the only time, which we've been doing it every couple of years. So sometimes people haven't met each other yet at all, or only see each other during all staff. So it is a bummer, but we felt like it was something that we could reasonably do to save some money and focus on serving clients.
All right. Any questions or comments about the virtual all-staff training? All right. Well, before we adjourn, I just want to say it was nice to be here in person.
Yes, absolutely.
And thank you to my fellow commissioners for joining us virtually as well. All right, so there being no further business, it is 2:21 p.m. and this meeting is adjourned.